Yasmeen, and she is quite an accomplished young woman. She is not only an Edina Scholar and a National Merit Finalist, and attending Princeton in the fall, but she also found time and all of that to squeeze in some swimming and diving as captain of the swim and dive team. I couldn't be prouder of her. She's just as nice and wonderful as she is smart and accomplished. Please welcome Yasmeen Yalmug.
All right, well, believe it or not, just 3 years ago, I was sitting where you all are sitting today. So first off, I want you all to know that I fully understand how boring this ceremony can be for you. And I'm going to try and make sure that my speech doesn't kill you. Now, I know there's a bit of an age gap between us, but I have a feeling we can all agree on one thing. And that one thing is that Valley View is way better than Southview, am I right? Now, as much as us Valley Viewers love to bash those Southview kids, there's one thing you can't forget. In just a few months, you're all going to be together at the same school. I know. It's scary to fraternize with the enemy. But here's the good news. High school is awesome. You're about to have 3 unforgettable years. That is, if you make them unforgettable. Ms. Ziff emailed me a couple of weeks ago and asked me to talk to you all. She asked me to tell you how to make the most of your high school career. I'm flattered because I assume this means that she thinks that I made the most of my high school career. I'm not sure that this is entirely true, but we're just going to roll with it. So, if you guys take the advice I give you today, and it doesn't work out for all of you, then it's Ms. Ziff's fault. In typical high school fashion, I procrastinated on this speech, but late last night, I decided that there are a few words of wisdom that I have for you all. And I'm sure you've pretty much heard the same thing from most of your teachers. You know, stay organized, manage your time, don't procrastinate, be responsible, blah, blah, blah. Well, they aren't wrong. All of these things will help you a lot. I can't say I'm an expert in any of them, but hey, I survived. To be honest, this wouldn't be the advice I would give you all. You know all that stuff already. I'm not sure your teachers will approve of this, but I'm going to go a different route. My first piece of advice for you all is to try new things. Try taking that AP class. Try auditioning for the school musical. Try Day Cafe chocolate chip cookies. They're better than Sodexo's and cheaper, but be warned, they're very addictive. No one's really sure what they put in there. Try being friends with your teachers and your counselor, because they're going to get you into college someday. Try walking up the stairs and through the hallways without stopping to talk to your friends. No, really, try that. And if you need any motivation, just think about what comes with trying all those new things. In 3 years or less, someone in this crowd is probably going to be leading the cheers at all the sporting events. Someone here is going to be class president or vice president, which is way cooler. You will all be captains, editors, leaders, and role models, if you aren't already. You'll be chamber singers, drum majors, and whatever the people in orchestra call themselves. So be ready to step up to those roles. The only way you'll get there is if you're willing to try something new. My second piece of advice is don't be afraid. High school isn't scary at all. I mean, what is there to be afraid of? I guess there's like the seniors who cut you off in the parking lot and taking your first real finals and AP tests and DH, the choir teacher. I'm not even in choir and I think he's terrifying. There's also the fact that you'll be shunned if you try to sit front row at a hockey game, or the whole your future depends on your GPA thing. But other than that stuff, it's totally fine. Nothing to fear. I'm kidding, by the way. None of that stuff is actually scary, except for DH. Oh, and don't try to sit front row. But honestly, if you want to enjoy high school, you have to learn to let your inhibitions go. Don't be afraid to make new friends and talk to new people. Don't be afraid of possibly embarrassing yourselves in public. Accept the fact now that at some point in your high school career, you're going to trip walking up the stairs during passing time, in front of everyone, and you'll probably let out a high-pitched scream, and people will laugh at you. Don't be afraid of embarrassing moments like this. No matter how hard it is at the time, just know that you are not alone. We've all been there, right? Right? Just me? Okay. And finally, don't be afraid of making memories. I can tell you right now that I was terrified before we stormed the field at Eden Perry's homecoming, mostly because there were police officers with tasers. But we did it, and it was awesome. Don't hesitate to push those limits, because even though you may embarrass yourselves, you'll come out with experiences and memories that make it all worthwhile. My third piece of advice is to be cake eaters in the classiest way possible. Take pride in yourselves and your community. Loving the school gives you a greater sense of appreciation for both your successes and the successes of your classmates. What I've found is that the more Edina pride you have, the more fun you have. It's just one more thing you can do to maximize the potential of the next 3 years. Go be National Merit Scholars. Go win more state championships. Go get standing ovations in a performance. Go accomplish something. And when you do, you can take proud selfies of you and your trophies, certificates, and medals, which reminds me. Smile. Take that selfie with your achievements and send it out to the world, knowing that your hard work has paid off. Not just because you've accomplished something for yourself, but also because you've done something noteworthy for the community. And if you're out there thinking that you're never going to do anything that impressive, well, I have two things to say to you. First of all, you're wrong. And second of all, there are no excuses. Why? Because you can play just as an important role by supporting your peers in their efforts as well. This is where all that extra Edina pride comes into play. If you aren't involved in a club or a team, go be their fan. Trust me, there is plenty of Edina hate out there to go around. We gotta spread some Edina love to balance it all out. And when you're out there cheering for the Hornets, just remember to keep it classy. People are gonna tell you that some cheers are inappropriate at sporting events. You should listen to them, most of the time. Unless it's Eden Prairie or Minnetonka, in which case anything goes. My final words of wisdom are, in my opinion, the most important. You ready? Chill out. I remember all the nerves I felt going into the high school. All throughout freshman year, my teachers, my parents, and my friends built it up as this big, scary place. It's not. I would panic thinking about all the hard work I would have to do, how the tests were impossible and the teachers were strict. Relax. People are right. High school is important. What you make of the next 3 years, in many ways, determines your future. But that isn't a reason to drive yourselves crazy. By simply being at this recognition today, you have already proven your potential. You know what it takes to be successful. Be confident in your abilities. Don't cry over your first B- or forgetting to turn in an assignment. You may not believe me, but I am extremely confident in all of you. You are more than ready for what's ahead. So go work hard, go have fun, and I promise you're going to survive.